This is Joseph Waring reporting for Telecom Asia at Broadband Asia in Singapore. This afternoon it's my pleasure to be joined by S.Gokula Krishnan. Gokula is Ericsson's Vice President for TV and Media Management for Southeast Asia and Oceania. Great to have you here. Mobile video traffic is soaring, growing something like 75% last year. How are video consumption habits changing around the world?
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Well, basically, we can look at it at a few different aspects. Look at from a macro situation point of view. Ericsson has this vision of a network society where we firmly believe that any device that benefits from connectivity will be connected, and we believe by the year 2020 there will be at least 50 billion connected devices out there. And what's interesting in relation to video is we believe that 15 billion of these 50 billion devices will be video enabled and able to deliver video. So these will be driving a lot of the traffic that you see as part of the growth of mobile data.
How will this evolving TV landscape impact operators, and what are the key challenges for them?
Let's first look at the consumer, or what we see as a change in the consumer. The consumer viewing habits we see today moving from a very unfocused viewing to a focused viewing. What this really means in traditional broadcast and pay TV services, it's more of content being broadcasted, linear content, and you have the choice. You either watch that or you need to go elsewhere to look for the content of your choice. Now, with more content being on demand and with on-demand services available over the top, consumers are starting to pick and choose what content they want to watch and when they want to watch it. Now, this doesn't mean that linear broadcast is going to end, but what we do believe is new capabilities like catch-up, time shift, DVR will now slowly start adding value to linear broadcast. That's from a consumer point of view. The second thing that we see in the consumer point of view is also interactivity within the social ecosystem. So what we've seen is within our Ericsson Consumer Lab survey that we recently concluded, 35% of the subscribers who are Twitter users agree that they tweet while they watch TV. Now, that viewing experience is also shared with emailing, browsing, or anything else. So users are becoming more and more multitasking while watching the TV and interacting with the social media ecosystem. Now, looking at it from an operator point of view, what does this mean? Let's look at how a lot of these consumer habits is being enabled by the operator. Today we live in an environment where there's 4G and LTE. So now with LTE, there is something called LTE Broadcast, which enables operator to broadcast content to the masses with relatively less strain on the network. Now, this was not possible in 3G. So if you take an example, if you were streaming, say, a piece of content to 100 audience over a 3G network, there's 100 dedicated connections, and this creates a huge strain on the mobile networks. Now with LTE Broadcast, you could broadcast this to 1 million users with a fraction of the bandwidth that is used in the traditional 3G network. Now, so that's something that's enabling a video delivery. Now, another thing that we've seen in the operator space is there's a lot of initiatives being put into developing best performing networks. What really this is really networks that are designed and optimized to carry video efficiently so that the end consumer gets the best quality experience. What we've seen is if the consumer doesn't get the best quality of experience, they're bound to live somewhere else where they can get a better quality of experience. Now, from a broadcast and pay TV industry point of view, what we've seen is now a growing phenomena of cord cutting and cord sharing. These are people who are either cutting their pay TV subscriptions or scaling them down. And what we've seen is as a defensive move. Now we've seen recently, as early as last week or 2 weeks ago, Netflix in the US has signed partnerships with cable MSOs where now Netflix services will be extended as part of the cable offering. So what we will see, I believe, going forward, now consumers having a lot of different needs and pay TV operations on one end, we will see what we saw happening in the mobile world a couple of years ago with a lot of OTT application services intruding into the mobile space. We will see similar situation in the TV media industry. But what we see is collaborations happening between pay TV operators and OTT providers, similar to what recently Netflix has done with cable MSOs, so that consumers can have one viewing experience that aggregates content from multiple sources. This is what we see in the different segments.
Can you give a specific example of how Ericsson's helping telcos move towards pay TV and OTT services?
Okay, so what we see is we studied a lot of pay TV operators, and we looked at the technology they have today, the constraints of the technology and where they're moving from it. What we've seen is in typical form, a pay TV or traditional broadcaster introduces new technology and services every few years once. Now, in the internet world, this is impossible. You can't compete with the internet world at this pace. We feel that the future or the future of how pay TV operators will compete in the market space is to be able to innovate at web speeds. So bringing this innovation is at the core of our next generation TV technologies, where we believe that the TV operators or anyone that delivers TV should have the flexibility to launch new services and applications in a matter of weeks. So behind this innovation and agility, lies cloud technologies, where we are now innovating and trialing new ways of delivering services, both from managed TV and OTT, from secure cloud, so that operators can start launching services in a matter of weeks out to consumers.
Great. Thanks for sharing your insight. Wonderful to have you here, Gokula.